Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome and thank you for attending tonight's Student Leadership Conference session, Flight of the AI Navigator, Steering Through the Entertainment Landscape Using AI, with our presenter, Tanya Perez. My name is Pat Barrientos, and I'm a graduate student here at SPS, and will be graduating actually at the next month. So this will be my last Student Leadership Conference where I'll be a student, but look forward to partaking in future student leadership conferences as an alum. Before we get into the presentation, we want to go over some housekeeping items. This session is being recorded and will be published on CUNY SPS's website after the conference concludes. So whether you want to have your faces on or not, cameras on, it's all totally up to you. We ask that you keep your mics muted to avoid any disruption throughout the session. Closed captioning is enabled if you need it. And again, whether your camera is on or off, we ask that you mentally present and stay engaged throughout the session. Feel free to ask questions, put it in the chat, and hopefully we'll get to all of them. This is a learning environment, so we encourage you to share your own personal experiences in the chat so we can all learn together. And the last item is that we have a raffle for this conference. So I will share information at the end as we close out on how to enter that raffle and possibly win some good prizes. So with that said, let me introduce to you Tanya Perez, who is a vibrant Nuyorican award-winning playwright, performer, filmmaker, and teaching artist who brings the human condition to life through her dark comedy. In 2023, she dazzled the audience with her off-Broadway debut of Welcome to Clowntown, earning rave reviews. She may look familiar to some who are fans of Orange is the New Black, Jessica Jones, Blue Bloods, Madam Secretary, and also in films like Sean Baker's Takeout and Hal Hartley's Ned Rifle, alongside with Parker Posey. Tanya is a graduate student of the Master's in Applied Theater program here at CUNY SPS and a Visionary Voice Fellow. So with that said, I'd like to introduce you to Tanya. Tanya, welcome.
Hello, thank you, Pat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello, everyone. I want to start off this chat right away with I'm going to be presenting both with a video and also a PowerPoint presentation because we have a short time together, though. I just wanted to start with, if you have an opportunity to put in the chat, how are you feeling today? How's your day going? You can put 1 or 2 words. Go ahead and put that into the chat now. And as you just kind of unload, because we're starting the evening sessions, I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge all my Visionary Voices fellows who have presented today, that super amazing and awesome presentations. And I'm also going to build on the fact that we have been learning a lot about AI over the last couple months. And as some may know, or if you read the headlines, that all of this data and research is coming at rapid fire. So what I was learning just 6 months ago, it has completely changed. Even as today I was speaking to some of my fellow filmmakers and talking about the state of AI. So if there's anything that I speak sometimes fast, and if I miss something, or if you miss something, and you need me to go back, I have my my friendly moderators here to help me go back to something or clarify something. But I'm going to go through a lot of information. I'm also happy to share this after we gather today, because I'll leave my email both in the chat and in the presentation. You'll see it, and I'm happy to have a deeper conversation on my discoveries and findings. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my presentation of Flight of the AI Navigator, steering through the entertainment landscape using AI. I've also created this presentation. I played with a couple of presentation generators, and this one was the most user-friendly. So I'm going to start right away with a couple of things about entertainment. If you're not familiar with the back end of entertainment, is that we have film, we have television, and then we have theater. I'm going to focus mainly on film and television for this presentation, and I will put. I do have a couple of slides about theater, but the theater is still in a very goopy form when it comes to using AI. But there's a lot of strong opinions and thoughts about AI in film and television. So I will talk briefly about the impacts. I'm going to tell you how some companies are using revolutionary practices with AI in theater. Its transformation in the digital landscape, and some discoveries that I found that were surprising even to me using AI, because I've been experimenting a lot, and opportunities. And I've also got some audience insights as well. And we'll talk a little, and we'll talk a little bit about the future trends in AI, both the positives and the negatives. So, headline news. Bum, bum, bum. If you didn't already hear about it a million times, there was this strike in 2023. I am a SAG-AFTRA member, and I'm also a WGA hopeful. So in that summer, they called it the hot strike summer, union strike summer, we spent about 118 days on strike in picket lines in front of offices that were refusing to negotiate contracts. And the big sticking point was the consent around AI. What studios knew what was happening is that AI was coming in rapid and they could access it so easily, and it was going to cut cost to their productions in half. So we needed to make protections, especially when it comes to actors and actors' voices and using their likenesses. One of the first contracts was a blanket statement of saying, we're going to use AI and we're going to use everybody's images and we don't have to pay you. So that angered a lot of people. And we stood out in the hot sun in order to say, I think we need to renegotiate this contract. Some of the safeguards that were put in was that we would have new measures and protections, saying basically, if I'm an actor and I'm signing this contract, I have to go ahead and say, I can refuse for you to use my likeness after we've already completed our contract, which was huge. And it makes sense because as a producer, they think about money. So money makes the world go round, right? This is a breakdown of an estimate of what it takes to make an episode of television, both in streaming and broadcast, what it takes to make an independent film, a standard Hollywood film. So that could be anything from a couple of people in the film, stars included, and then your big blockbusters like the Marvel universe. And then I have also added, because theater is also part of this conversation, off-Broadway and Broadway. Now look at those numbers. Take a moment to look at how many millions of dollars are being spent just on one thing. So if that's a Broadway show, that is the show. That's not even the operating costs. It's just bringing a show to life. That's paying all of the actors, all of the crew, all of the creatives, all the producers, all of the tech people, the theater itself, all of those things. That's also included in streaming. How big are the episodes? How small are they? So thinking like a producer, it makes sense that they want to go ahead and use generative AI to minimize their budgets. Everything, Everywhere, all at once was a fantastical film. And the things that made it even more fantastical and the way that they could do it is actually using generative AI in those backdrops. It made it very quick and it made it very affordable. Rogue One used their research team to enhance the realism in the faces and any of the characters that were otherworldly. Even Coco was using part of the machine learning universe to make those visual effects in animation faster. Because friends of mine who are animators, it takes a long time to just animate a short piece of a film. And then one of the biggest controversies during the Oscars was that the Brutalists used AI to enhance the actors' pronunciation. They were doing Hungarian accents and to make them sound more authentic. So that's something to think about. Like, these are the things that we're using AI. And as an actor who advocated for much more restrictions in what our contracts were, and I'm also curious about AI. I know it's here. It's not going away. It's on our phones. It's on our computers. Part of my research, I used a lot of people use ChatGPT. I was using Copilot, and it made it a lot easier. Let's see. I think I'm having some tech issues. Hold on one second. All right, there we go. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. So, with all of this said, I was curious about a couple of these video generators. So there are a lot out there. One of the biggest headlines was the Sora OpenAI generator. And I'm going to go ahead and show you one of the videos that I created for this presentation that also created it in under 10 minutes.
AI is not just a tool, it's a game changer in storytelling. Imagine a world where AI crafts narratives that captivate audiences like never before. This revolution is reshaping how stories are told, making them more immersive and engaging. AI analyzes audience preferences to tailor content, predicting successful story elements. While this offers precision, it raises ethical concerns about creativity. Can AI truly replace the human touch in storytelling? Let's explore the balance between innovation and authenticity. The benefits of AI in storytelling are undeniable. It predicts trends, ensuring content resonates with viewers. However, reliance on data might stifle creativity. The challenge lies in blending AI's precision with human imagination for truly compelling narratives. AI-enhanced storytelling is making waves in film and TV. From blockbuster hits to indie gems, AI's impact is evident. Industry experts reveal how AI boosts production quality and viewer engagement, setting new standards in entertainment.
All right, hold on one second, everyone. Hold on. I'm sorry. This is just a lot. I'm curious how much this person was being paid. I even tried auditioning for it, and obviously I didn't get the job. Look, all right, and scene. So as an actor, I like to role play, and especially in the applied theater program, we do use role play as a way to communicate a few things. And one of them is that for me, as the actor part, I'm also producer, filmmaker, clown. The actor is constantly both going, "Oh my goodness, what are we losing? What are the things that we can that we're doing?" So yes, yeah, Pat, it looks, it's very realistic. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the back end of this presentation. So just hang 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and switch out. All right. So I discovered with this particular app is that they create avatars. They basically get an actor can go ahead and share their likeness, and chances are that these particular avatars are non-union actors. So they were created before we went ahead and tried to put in some stricter conditions when making contracts, both in advertising and in film and television. And I'm curious to those who are joining us today. If you notice anything with these images, we do know, we talk about with AI that there's machine learning biases. So I'm just curious if you can go ahead and put it in the chat, some of the things that you noticed, both with the video and also these images of these avatars. Great, we're almost at. Amazing. Busy, excited. Okay, yes. The face doesn't really move. Yeah, it looks a little, and then the voice is monotone. Yeah, I can see that. It's very, it's stiff. You can tell that this is, this in some ways is altered and not human-like. So with that said, I want you to go ahead and think both like a producer and then like an actor. What are the things that we are losing when we use avatars or voice generated AI in the visual storytelling that we are experiencing? Passion. Yeah, definitely. Passion. What else? Things I know that come up for me is also empathy, is also that human contact. Yep, each avatar different sizes. Excellent. So with this said, I'm happy to share my whole deck with you on where I got all the research and anything that else. But I'm curious to what you think about when you think about AI and consuming it as an audience member. What are the things that you like about it? The content, does the content come up? And, you know, for us on the back end of filmmaking is that we're going ahead and doing it a lot quicker. The ability to read a script in different ways and elements of surprise and navigating relationships in the script. So I'm going to share one more thing with you before we open up to a Q&A. And so some of the surprising facts that I found in my research that came up while using AI. We're using these movie backdrops. Like I said earlier, Everything Everywhere All at Once was using backdrops that you couldn't even tell that it was altered. Another thing that I found that was really, really exciting was algorithmic theater, which has been using and generating customized scripts on themes, and also using those prompts to create these scripts for people that make it accessible. Another thing is the voiceover challenges. So if somebody has to make something quick, then for filmmakers, it makes it a lot easier if they can secure voiceover AI over voiceover talent. The thing that could also be the ethical problem is that they also are using AI generated voices from people who have passed away, which is something that I think folks are giving the permissions of using somebody who has passed away, something that can be an ethical challenge. And then finally, driving social change in communities that can actually leverage AI for content creation. There have been also a couple of studies that I found that were really positive about using AI in places where they can't afford it, but they're being able to use both for content creation and archival purposes. And finally, the ethical considerations in AI. Some say it's a threat to human creativity, job elimination. And I have definitely seen that happen in Hollywood as of right now. Biases, privacy issues, the infrastructure limitations, and then there's ethical considerations, also the environmental impact of AI. So we're exploring the future of storytelling. I want to, in the chat, real quick, is to think about what do we lose as if I was to be the actor, like what am I losing outside of feeling like I'm losing jobs? Like what are the things that I'm also losing? And then what are the things that I could gain? And I'm going to go ahead and insert this. A friend of mine I was just talking to says, as an actor, she lives in Atlanta, and she actually started using it to help her with auditions, help her memorize the auditions, and also help give feedback in her self-tapes. And it has changed the way that she is approaching her auditioning life, made it a lot easier, and she's actually seeing positive feedback because of it. Oh, and there's my conclusion. So as we embrace AI in storytelling, we're going to prioritize ethical discussions and enhance creativity while preserving the human touch in our narratives. And I thank you so much. If you have questions, I'm happy to go ahead and take them.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Hi, my name is Dennis Antonish, and I don't really have a question, but more like a comment on your presentation. Uh, how would I say this? I know that right now, at this moment, there's a bunch of companies taking their material for courses, and they've replaced the instructor with AI. And when I was watching the video, I did not notice it was an AI. I was just watching the video, trying to learn what they were saying, and the instructor was very, clear, cut, concise, everything you expect from an instructor. And then at the end of the video, they said, "This person you just saw, and all the script and all the videos you just saw was completely AI." And when I watched that video and compared to the video you just showed us on the presentation, um, for this one you can, it's obvious, you can tell because the lips don't sync, and there was some like some little AI kinks. But for the one I saw for this course, it was like you can never tell until they told you. I was very shocked that this technology is already here. There's AI avatars already replacing the instructors.
Mm.
But the thing is, though, for this one, they were more ethical, and they were telling us, yeah, the instructor gave us their permission to use their likeness to create
Mhm.
this AI model, and like I was blown away by that. And another thing too is that a bunch of jobs online for tech roles have been inundated with a bunch of fake robots, right? Fake people
Yeah,
applying. And I was watching this video about this guy who was applying for a tech role, and he had his camera on, he was being presented, but it was fake. It was an avatar, and you wouldn't. And again, you wouldn't even tell this guy was fake. He was applying to a job, answering the questions normally, and I was just very shocked that I wouldn't tell too until the guy said, "Move your hand in front of your face." And when he did, and when he didn't want to do that, then is that when we all realized, like, yeah, this guy's fake, because
right.
he wouldn't put his hand in front of his face. It was just, yeah, I don't know. Just watching this video, I was like, yeah, it's
I
very
mean, you're
shocked.
bringing up something that's very that is very important and has just hit headlines within the last week of the deep fakes. And then there's these deep fake studios who are not trying to hide it, but actually making copies using celebrities from the Titanic, from the vampire movies, and creating alternate trailers, and that has brought into a lot of question of how far do we go with these lack of permissions, because it's also so easy for folks to get anything from the internet and use it in these videos, with Synthesia, which is the program that I use for the woman who was presenting. They do have a whole avatar library and also allow you uh, to insert yourself as an avatar or use your voice in these presentations. But it also says a lot it says a lot when you think about how easy it could perceive our eyes and our ears, and we can't tell. Whereas even 2 years ago, we could tell the difference between an avatar that was made with AI, and a live person. So, my biggest question through all of this, and I know that I don't have the answer, but is what are the things that we can do to protect our images, yet also how do we work with AI? Because it's here and people are using it. And what do we do? What do we do? And with that said,
Yeah. With that said, thank you very much, Tanya, for your amazing presentation
thank you.
on a very important topic, and that's why it's a full week session. So there's the next session that's coming on shortly, and there are some other ones tomorrow and Friday, and we hope to see many of you at those other sessions. I put in the chat information regarding a upcoming raffle. So check your email that you use to register for this session and the other sessions with details about how to win some swag and some other stuff. So once again, thank you, Tanya, and thank you everyone for joining us tonight. And have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks. Take care, Tanya.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.